Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon. All right, Ben. This is a bourbon that I really like. It's from a distillery I really like, and I think you like it as well.
Yes, I do.
So let's bring it on in.
We've got BAM Larceny Barrel Proof C922. All right, so this one, I know I say this all the time, I'm excited about this. So the
Freaking amazing.
Yes, freaking amazing. I'm excited about it. So we got 126.6 proof. The reason I'm excited about this, and I usually try not to do this, but I have seen and heard other reviews of this, and it's getting rave reviews. So I don't mean to set my bar too high, you know, for disappointment.
By standard, you mean not bar? Like,
well, yeah, exactly.
Because
this is set exactly to the, I actually measured, I stood like this and measured for the perfect lean for me.
17 inches, by the way.
But you don't want to...
17 inches.
17 inches tall. But you know, you don't want to get like overly, like have too high of hopes. Like going into a movie that you really are excited about and then it's just trash. Halloween Ends. Anyway. But...
back to the whiskey.
I'm excited about this.
I was going to make a comment that there's two ways you know about this bourbon already. Number one, you can watch other people's reviews, which Trader. Or number two, you simply took your time machine, you went to the future, you watched our review, where we loved it, and then you've come back to participate.
I did that. Our review wasn't as good as everybody else's review, but I mean, still, like, comment, subscribe.
That's unfair.
It's interesting.
We should actually say hi to the new Patreons. Thank you so much for the support.
Yes, we have had a couple of new Patreons. Your names are going to be in the
crawl.
In the crawl at the end of this one. I already did that. I did it right away.
That's amazing.
So I'm getting some nice caramel and oak.
Wow, I'm getting a flavor note that I don't... You know what it smells like? This is going to sound like an insult. I don't mean it to be an insult at all. But you know when you're like sweeping the floor and you get like dust up and it's dusty?
Yeah, we get that on some bourbons where it's kind of like, they say like a dusty, like an old barn dusty, yeah. It does have a little bit of a dust quality to it.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of chocolate and caramel and oak.
Seeing it's probably gonna be like corn forward, like sweet, but not amazingly sweet. But I don't know, that's about all I'm getting so far.
Let's find out.
Let's. The mouthfeel is amazing. Very dense. We don't know the age, right?
6 to 8 years.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow. Proof?
It's a wheater, 126.6.
I'm sure you said that, but I was listening.
Yep.
Wow. Real dense, very viscous.
Interesting,
but the burn notes hit weird. And I don't mean weird in a bad way. Can you say
I was waiting for you to say that would not be a good name for a channel, because every time we say anything before the word note, you always say that wouldn't be a good name for a channel.
What did you say?
You said burn notes.
Oh.
Do we need to do another red flag challenge? This literally happened 5 seconds ago.
No, like that's so funny. I was gonna make a reference to that actually being a really good show.
Oh, Burn Notice?
Burn Notice, it's a pretty good show.
We've train wrecked this.
Yeah.
I need another sip of this before I get into the actual taste.
Let's get back into flavor notes. That channel's pretty good. Like, it is so dense and round and like coats your tongue.
It's really good.
That it takes a minute for you really to get through all the flavors and like individually like experience the whiskey.
Yeah. It's so I'm not disappointed in this.
Oh, not
this
at all.
is great.
No, yeah.
I don't know, and this is probably a good thing as a person who reviews bourbon. The other reviews that I've seen about this, I'm not necessarily getting the same things.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, so I'm not influenced by that. I am getting a lot of caramel, and I know that's kind of a prominent note on this
bourbon
one.
Note.
Yeah, but it's traditional bourbon note.
Mm-hmm.
The more I get into it, especially on the nose, it really has that like baked goods sweetness, whether it's like cake or cookies or
butterscotch. I'm really leaning into the butterscotch kind of
which is kind of a variation of a caramel flavor.
Yeah, it is.
I know it maybe isn't in practice, but I consider those to be in the same category.
Mm-hmm. Almost liquid brown sugar. No, that's not perfectly right. It's close to that, but not quite.
I'm getting a decent amount of oak on this, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm finding this a bit tannic, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But
the oiliness kind of, it's not oil, it's just the experience on your tongue. Like, it's dry, but it's also not dry because of the mouthfeel.
that's a great way to describe it. There is a dryness here that I associate with that kind of tannic.
Yep.
Sometimes it comes across as bitter. It's not in this because I think
Right.
the sweetness is covering that up. Now, this is great whiskey.
Yes.
I don't know that, and again, I've heard other people's opinions on this. From memory, I don't know that this is, because this has been kind of lauded as, one of the, I think Fred Minnick had this in like maybe his top 15. I think it was like number 14 or something like that. I've heard other channels whose opinions I respect, say this is just fantastic, especially compared to the other ones. I don't know that I'm getting enough of just going off of memory, a difference on this from the other ones that I would go quite that far.
You know what? I genuinely like this, but it does have an interesting quality where I don't know if I'd ever would have thought this before. The viscous, kind of like the density to it. It's not off-putting and it's not too much, but it really affects how you experience it. Mm-hmm. So I do feel I own a couple of Larcenies, and I think you have several.
I have all of them from this year right here on the bar. So I think we need to do.
We need to do a future video and go through the range.
Yeah.
Because this one and maybe they're all the same, but I don't remember it being this prominent, the density of this.
Yeah.
So
it does have a nice mouthfeel to it. It's coating. It's one of those ones, it has a very long, lingering finish that's still going as I'm sitting here talking. But yeah, I would like to compare this to the A122, the
B5.
B522.
And I have a 21 and I think a 20.
Well, I think we should do this year's as a video at some point. So look out for that one. We'll either do that as a live stream maybe, or we'll do that as a standalone video. But I really now, after having this, it is really good. But I don't know if I would have, if I had never heard those reviews before or those opinions, I don't know that I would go into this liking it anymore, that much more than the other ones. But here's the thing, I really like the other ones and a lot of people didn't, from what I understand, or some people didn't.
Yep,
so maybe this one is that good, but I just hold the other ones up a little higher than everybody else seems to,
So, okay, I have a question for you, and it's for that flight video that we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. Because we've talked a little bit about how we feel about Elijah Craig's barrel proof. They do 3 years well.
Yep.
I'm curious what you think of the Elijah Craig barrel proofs versus the Larceny barrel proofs.
So Northwest Bourbon is a new channel that I just started following because he actually showed up in the chat. So I checked out the channel. So go check out Northwest Bourbon. He actually just did a video that I watched where he did this one actually, well, I won't say what happened with it because go watch the video.
Yeah, no
but he compared 2 of the Larceny barrel proofs, the recent ones, to 2 of the Elijah Craig's.
Okay.
And so you can go check that out and see how that turned out. But it was an interesting, result.
Sure. And so just real briefly, same distillery, Heaven Hill, but different mash bill because this is a wheated versus the rye, but not super high rye on the Elijah Craig's.
And we've talked and complained a little bit that all the Elijah Craig barrel proofs seem to be in that mid 120s range now.
Being a little bit consistent.
Yeah, so it would be interesting. That'd be a fun video to do. So maybe we'll steal Northwest Bourbon's idea and do that video.
Well, it was my idea.
You talked about it before you even heard about that. So I guess we can claim it as also an original idea
an
by
idea,
you.
yeah.
So. All right, do you have anything else to add about this one?
I really like it. I think I'm going to withhold final judgment until we do the flight. And the decision point is, would I buy 3 of them next year?
Right.
And I don't know yet.
See, what I like about
I want to
these...
feel the progression to see where they're going.
Yep.
So I'm just not sure yet.
$60.
Okay.
That
where
makes
the
a difference. Whereas the Elijah Craigs are 80.
80.
Yeah.
And sometimes 90, depending on the store. And
Yeah.
it's hard to find.
And so incidentally, it's kind of funny like that I have all 3 of these now from this year, because for the longest time I would find the Elijah Craigs, and I still can, but I would never see these. And now I've been finding these bottles just right there in the store, right out in the open.
I think in the past month, just a whole bunch of stuff has just been released onto the market.
Yeah, it seems like it. And these, like I said, have been showing up. I did have to go to the South Metro to get the other 2, but I found this one in the outstate. So anyway, yeah, I would say this is a buy for sure, but I would say that about any of them. So, at $60, you can't go wrong with that.
Totally agree.
All right, well, this has been Larceny Barrel Proof C922 on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Till next time. See you next time. It's finally turned to chocolate. I like it.